Advantages of a transport terminal as a component of an ART station. This is an example of a public transport terminal located beside an ART station in La Paz, Bolivia. This is the satellite view, and this is the frontal view. You can see here the various types of public transport that unload and load passengers. Only a few stations in the La Paz ART network have terminals. In most cases, stations are just fitted with pocket lanes which work out just fine. The main reason is that a terminal requires additional land, as in this example in the La Paz ART. Land is expensive in a densely populated city. In some cases, multi-story buildings are built to accommodate more PUVs inside the terminal. In the Philippines, it is encouraged that the private sector fund mass transportation projects through the Public-Private Partnership or PPP program of the government. The more terminals and commercial establishments that are incorporated into ART stations, the higher is the profitability of ART systems. More private companies will then be attracted to fund ART projects. Most of the private investments in the Philippines are in condos in the past 30 years. During the same period, there has been very little investment in mass transportation. This will be elaborated in other chapter videos. These are the main advantages of a transport terminal as a component of an ART station. Number 1. All types of PUVs will always be available at the station, except during peak hours. The passengers go down to the terminal to choose a mode of transport to travel to his next destination. He can choose to ride public transport in any direction that takes him to his final destination. If no vehicles are available at the terminal, he can use the pocket lanes on both sides of the road. Pedestrian flyovers are provided in ART stations for safe crossings. In contrast, a passenger of an LRT may have to wait longer for public transport to arrive. Public transport are not allowed to wait along a road except unloading and loading of passengers. Number 2. All types of public and personal transport can park at the station anytime. They will be grouped together in one place. Only the ferry will be an exception. These types of transport are usually used as a mode of secondary transport to the primary mode of transport. They can park at their allocated space in a terminal. For PUVs, this is helpful during non-peak hours when there are few passengers. The operators and drivers may be able to save money on standby rather than make trips with a few passengers. In an LRT, PUVs cannot park along the road except for loading and unloading. Many countries are already banning fossil fuel vehicles between 2025 to 2040. Electric vehicles are gaining popularity in the Philippines. ART terminals will be the best place to charge vehicles during non-peak hours. This is an independent charging station for electric tricycles. This is for electric jeepneys. Both can be placed and integrated in a terminal of an ART station. Personal vehicles, such as electric scooters and bicycles, can have their own covered and guarded parking area. They are gaining popularity in the Philippines. They are expected to help increase the use of public transport. Number 3. Orderly loading and unloading of passengers at connecting modes of transport. This is the frontal view of the ART station. This is the connecting bus that is parking or loading and unloading passengers at its designated lanes. You can see the multiple parking bays and waiting sheds at both sides of the terminal. In the Manila LRT-1, this is the entry or exit facility of the station. The sidewalk is narrow, with no space to build low-cost pocket lane, much more for a transport terminal. As a result, passengers can spill into the streets. traffic flow is congested. This is a comparison of unloading and loading areas at the connecting modes of transport of an ART and LRT. One of the factors why unloading and loading in an ART is orderly is its ability to provide a fence. All 26 stations of the La Paz ART system is fenced, except one station, whereas Manila's LRT system, none of the 46 stations are fenced. You cannot fence an ART or LRT station when they are on top of the road. It restricts the flow of pedestrian traffic for those that will use the ART or LRT and those who do not. These are more examples of the fences around a station to show that fencing contributes in making the operation of an ART system orderly. Number 3. A terminal enhances the commercial component and ridership of an ART station. This is the location of the terminal that is spread along a semicircular arc. This is a better view of the pocket lane along multiple waiting sheds. This is a satellite view of the transport terminal beside the red line, orange line interchange station showing its amenities. This is the red line, orange line interchange. This is the terminal. The ART and terminal support the transportation needs of the cultural and commercial complex. The complex is currently under construction as of 2023. These are the structures that have so far been completed. The following are sample commercial spaces at ART stations in La Paz, Bolivia. The commercial establishments can be inside the station or at the exterior of the station building. These are more sample commercial establishments that can be duplicated into an ART station in Philippine cities. The bigger the commercial building integrated into the ART, the more commercial places that can be made. The bigger the passenger terminal, the more foot traffic that can be generated in both the ART and the commercial center, increasing its profitability. This is an example of a transport hub in the busy and densely populated financial district of Binondo, Manila. It has 3 connecting modes of transport. It is highly organized and very efficient. Unfortunately, it has poor connectivity to a mass transportation system. It is located 1.2 kilometers walking distance from LRT-1 and LRT-2. The overcrowded 2.5-hectare Manila City Jail can be transferred to a bigger area at the outskirts of Manila. An integrated ART with a mall and a passenger terminal can be built in its place under the PPP program of the government. The ART can be connected to the passenger flyover connecting LRT-1 and LRT-2. It could be a win-win project for the developer, City of Manila, and the prisoners at no cost to the government.